Amari Cooper, born June 17, 1994, is an American football wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League (NFL). He played college football at the University of Alabama, where he was the Biletnikoff Award winner as the nation's top receiver and a unanimous All-American in 2014. Widely considered the top wide receiver prospect of the 2015 NFL Draft. He was selected with the 4th overall pick by the Oakland Raiders. After successful rookie and sophomore seasons that included back-to-back 1,000-yard campaigns and 2 Pro Bowl appearances, Cooper struggled in his 3rd season with the Raiders, totaling just 680 yards. Midway through the 2018 season, he was traded to the Cowboys and his play began to flourish again, including a 217-yard performance, and as a result, was voted to the 3rd Pro Bowl of his career. Cooper attended Miami Northwestern Senior High School in Miami, Florida. As a junior, he missed much of the season with an injury, but still managed to be one of quarterback Teddy Bridgewater's primary targets and had 16 catches for 175 yards with 4 scores. Cooper was dominant on the 7-on-7 circuit at various college campuses before his senior season. He had a show-out performance at Alabama's summer camp, too, and that quickly led to an offer from Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide. In his final year, he hauled in 33 receptions for 722 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was a first-team FHSAA 8A All-State selection, as well as the number 4 player on Orlando Sentinel's Florida Top 100. He was also invited to play at the 2012 Under Armour All-America game, where he had a 75-yard touchdown grab and a 93-yard punt return for a score. In addition to being a standout in football, Cooper also starred in basketball and track at Miami Northwestern. Cooper was a consensus 4-star prospect. He was listed as the number 45 in the Rivals 100. And was considered the number 6 wide receiver and number 8 player in Florida by Rivals.com. ESPNU listed him as the nation's number 7 wideout and number 46 overall prospect in the ESPNU 150 while ranking 25th in the ESPNU Southeast Top 100 and number 12 in Florida. He was ranked as the number 6 wide receiver and the number 10 player in the state of Florida by 247sports.com, while ranking him 55th in the top 247. Also, Scout.com rated him as the number 12 pass catcher in the nation and 86th overall prospect. He chose Alabama over Florida State, Miami, and Ohio State, among others. Cooper announced his verbal commitment to the University of Alabama on September 22, 2011. Freshman season. As a freshman at Alabama, Cooper played in all 14 games, including starts in the final 9 games. He led the team with 59 receptions for 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. The 11 touchdowns broke Alabama's 62-year-old record by Al Larry. His receptions and receiving yards broke Julio Jones's Alabama freshman records. In the SEC Championship, he had 8 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown in the 32-28 victory over Georgia. In Alabama's 2013 BCS National Championship game 42-14 victory over Notre Dame. Cooper led all Alabama receivers with 6 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper earned consensus freshman All-American honors and was selected to the SEC All-Freshman team by the league coaches. Sophomore season. Edit. As a sophomore in 2013, Cooper played in 12 games with 7 starts, missing 2 games due to injury. He had 45 receptions for a team-high 736 yards and 4 touchdowns. 17. He had his best game of the season against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, recording 6 receptions for 178 yards, including a school record 99-yard touchdown reception from quarterback A.J. McCarron. 18. In the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma, he had 9 receptions for 121 yards in the 45-31 loss. Junior season. Edit. As a junior in 2014, Cooper set numerous single-season and career records for Alabama. 20. Against Tennessee, he broke Alabama's single-game receiving yards record, finishing with 224. 21. He later matched the record against Auburn. 22. For the season, Cooper had 124 receptions for 1,727 yards and 16 touchdowns, both school records. In addition, his 124 receptions were an SEC record. 23. He became Alabama's all-time leader in receptions, 228, receiving yards, 3,463, and receiving touchdowns, 31, 24, 25, 26. Cooper was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy, finishing third behind Marcus Mariota and Melvin Gordon. 27. He won the Biletnikoff Award that season and was also named a unanimous All-American. 28, 29. After his junior season, Cooper entered the 2015 NFL draft. Cooper was considered one of the best wide receivers in the 2015 draft class, together with Kevin White. In most mock drafts, he was projected to be a top 10 pick, with some having him as high as the 4th pick in the 2015 NFL draft. 2015 season, rookie year. Edit. The Oakland Raiders selected Cooper in the first round with the 4th overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft. 36-37. Cooper was initially assigned the jersey number 19. But following the release of fellow receiver James Jones, he switched to number 89. Cooper made his NFL debut for the Oakland Raiders on September 13, 2015. He hauled in 5 receptions for 47 yards in a 33-13 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. 38. In his second game against the Baltimore Ravens, he had 109 yards receiving, including his first touchdown on a 68-yard pass from Derek Carr. 39. In Week 3, he had a franchise rookie record 8 receptions for 134 yards in a 27-20 win against the Cleveland Browns, becoming the first Raiders receiver with consecutive 100-yard receiving games since Randy Moss in 2005. 40-41. Through 3 games, his 290 receiving yards were 3rd in NFL history. On November 8, 2015, Cooper passed Tim Brown's record for rookie receptions, 43, in a 35-38 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 42, on December 20, 2015. Cooper became the first Oakland Raider rookie in franchise history to reach the 1,000-yard mark and the only receiver in the club to reach that same mark since Randy Moss. In 2005, 43, his 5 100-yard receiving games and 72 receptions are also franchise rookie records. 44, on December 22, 2015, Cooper was selected as an alternate for the Pro Bowl, alongside teammates Derek Carr and Latavius Murray. 45, he replaced Brandon Marshall and played 46 2016 season. Cooper put together a solid second season in the NFL. In the season opener against the New Orleans Saints, he He had 6 receptions for 137 yards in a 35-34 victory, 47, in Week 5. Against the San Diego Chargers, he had 6 receptions for 138 yards and a touchdown in a 34-31 victory, 48, in Week 8, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had his best game of the season with 12 receptions for 173 yards and a touchdown in a 30-24 overtime victory, 49, overall. He had 83 receptions for 1,153 yards and 5 touchdowns, 50. Cooper was named to his second consecutive Pro Bowl on December 20. 2016, 51. He was also ranked 53rd by his peers on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2017. In the season opener against the Tennessee Titans, Cooper had only 5 receptions for 62 yards on 13 targets, though one was a touchdown, 53, after having 33 yards in Week 2. Cooper had 3 consecutive games with less than 10 receiving yards, 54, however, on Thursday Night Football, in a 31-30 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 7. Cooper caught 11 passes for a then career-high 210 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. His yardage was the most by any NFL player at that point in the 2017 season. The second most in franchise history, and the first 200-yard game in franchise history since 1965, 55, 56, with his stellar performance in Week 7. Cooper earned AFC Offensive Player of the Week, 57, after a string of games without stellar yardage totals. Cooper had 3 receptions for 66 receiving yards and a 63-yard touchdown during a Week 16 loss, 19-10, to the Philadelphia Eagles. In the season finale against the Los Angeles Chargers, Cooper caught 3 receptions for 115 yards and an 87-yard touchdown in the 30-10 loss, 58. He was later revealed to have struggled throughout the latter half of the season with an ankle injury that hampered his play. 59. Cooper finished the 2017 season recording career lows with 48 receptions for 680 yards but did have a career-high 7 receiving touchdowns, 60. 2018 season. Edit. On April 22, 2018, the Raiders exercised the 5th-year option on Cooper's contract, 61, in Week 4 against the Cleveland Browns. Cooper caught 8 passes for 128 yards and a touchdown in a 45-42 overtime win, 62. During Week 6 against the Seattle Seahawks in London, Cooper suffered a concussion and was knocked unconscious. The Raiders went on to lose 27-3, 63, Dallas Cowboys. 2018 season. Edit. On October 22, 2018, Cooper was traded to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a first-round pick, 27th overall. Jonathan Abram, in the 2019 NFL Draft, 64, in his first game with the Cowboys on November 5. Cooper led the team with 5 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown as the Cowboys lost to the Tennessee Titans by a score of 28-14, 65, on Thanksgiving Day. Cooper had 8 receptions for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 90-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter as the Cowboys defeated the Washington Redskins by a score of 31-23. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his performance, 66. During Week 14 against the Philadelphia Eagles, Cooper had 10 catches for a career-high 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. His final touchdown, in overtime, came off a deflection from Rasul Douglas as the Cowboys won 29-23. His 217 receiving yards were the most by one player for a single game in the 2018 season. 67, for his performance. Cooper earned his second NFC Offensive Player of the Week award. 68. The Cowboys finished atop the NFC East with a 10-6 record and were the number 4 seed for the NFC playoffs. 69, in the wild card round victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Cooper had 7 receptions for 106 yards. 70, in the divisional round loss to the Los Angeles Rams, he had 6 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. 71, on January 21, 2019. Cooper was added to the NFC Pro Bowl roster as an injury replacement for New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas. 72, in 15 games on the Raiders and Cowboys rosters during the 2018 season. Cooper accumulated 75 receptions, 1,005 yards, and 7 touchdown receptions. 2019 season. On July 1, 2019, Cooper stated, "I think the change of scenery was really necessary. I really, honestly, don't think if I would have stayed with the Raiders last season that I would have been able to flourish and reach some heights that I was able to reach as a Cowboy. So, it was definitely necessary." 73, during the season opener against the New York Giants. Cooper caught 6 passes for 106 yards and a touchdown as the Cowboys won by a score of 35-17. 74, 2 weeks later against the Miami Dolphins. He caught 6 passes for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Cowboys won 31-6, 75, during Week 5. Cooper caught 11 passes for a career-high 226 yards and a touchdown as the Cowboys lost to the Green Bay Packers by a score of 34-24, 76, during Week 6 on the road against the New York Jets. Cooper caught 1 pass for 3 yards before leaving the game with a thigh injury. 77. The Cowboys went on to lose 22-24. In the next game against the Philadelphia Eagles, he caught 5 passes for 106 yards in the Cowboys' 37-10 home victory. 78. After a Week 8 bye, the Cowboys went on the road to face the New York Giants. Cooper caught 4 passes for 80 yards and a 45-yard fourth-quarter touchdown that sealed a 37-18 victory over their division rival. 79, during Week 10 against the Minnesota Vikings. He caught 11 passes for 147 yards and a touchdown as the Cowboys lost by a score of 28-24, 83 weeks later against the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. Cooper caught 6 passes for 83 yards and a touchdown in the 31-24 road loss. During the game, he reached 1,000 receiving yards on the season. 81. Cooper finished the 2019 season with 79 receptions for a career-high 1,189 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns in 16 games and starts. 82, 2020 season. On March 17, 2020, Cooper signed a 5-year contract extension with the Cowboys worth $100 million, which featured $60 million guaranteed, $40 million at signing, and a $20 million injury designation that becomes fully guaranteed in 2022. 83. In Week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams, Cooper caught 10 of 14 targets for 81 receiving yards in a 17-20 loss. 84. In Week 2 against the Atlanta Falcons, Cooper caught 6 passes for 100 yards, including a one-handed catch that resulted in a 58-yard reception during the 40-39 comeback victory. 85. In Week 4 against the Cleveland Browns, Cooper caught 12 passes for 134 yards and a touchdown during the 49-38 loss. 86, in Week 12, against the Washington football team. Cooper recorded 6 catches for 112 receiving yards and a touchdown during the 41-16 loss. 87, for the 2020 season. Cooper accumulated a career-high 92 receptions, 1,114 receiving yards and 5 touchdown receptions in 16 games, 15 starts. NFL career statistics.